Riff and Russ.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Riff and Russ. Woo!
I like today's topic, Russ.
Yes.
I like today's topic. Yeah, I like it. Why don't you tell us the topic, actually? It was from someone who watches your show, so.
Right, yeah. So we asked you guys for suggestions. So shout out to Contra Kai. He said,
I like it.
Start a collection in 2021. You're given a console for free and $100 to start a collection for that console based off of current price charting value. Which console would you pick? What games do you buy?
I like his name, Contra Kai. It's a mix of Contra and Cobra Kai. I like that. So we're
cool shirt.
That would be. I like that. Get on it, Russ.
Get on it.
So we're given a console for free, and we're given $100. It's not saying this is the only console that you can ever collect for or ever play, but it's saying that if you're starting fresh collecting, okay.
Yeah, kind of like a
console,
challenge.
Got it. Free console with $100. Okay. Russ, did you want to start this off? I know we didn't let each other talk before this.
Right. We don't know like essentially what consoles we're picking in games and stuff like that. But I probably think both of us picked retro games. I feel this challenge would be very difficult to pick like a new modern system because most games are $60.
There was a minute where I was like, well, I could get a free Xbox Series X and afford Game Pass for like 6 months, or 7 months. But I didn't pick that. But I did think that went through my head. I'm like, oh, what about Game Pass? But then you don't get to keep anything. So,
or I think I suggested, what if you got a an EverDrive cart?
EverDrive
with all the games.
That's cheating. Yeah, this I'd say let's make that very clear. This doesn't mean like emulate this and that. No, it's straight up carts or discs. So
right.
So Russ, you want to go first? I think mine might throw people for a curveball. I surprised myself actually. But go ahead.
Yeah, this was fun researching, and I switched out a lot of games here and there to get to the exact amount most cost effective. Yeah. I'm going with the Super Nintendo.
Great choice. That was, in my opinion. So the only thing we told each other, you told me what console you're picking because we don't want to pick the same one. Right. And I was like, well, I was gonna pick Super Nintendo. I'm sure for the same reasons. I'll let you go on, of course. But I did pick a different console besides that because of yours. But I am curious as to what games you would pick because it might be different from what I would have picked if I would have picked Super Nintendo.
Right. And I have my list, and after that, I'll put some games that I wanted to add, but I ended up taking them off.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Yeah. So cost effectively, we're gonna get Super Mario World. Currently going for $12.77 on video game price charting.
So you weren't doing the Mario All-Stars?
I had that in my list because I figured this way I could get Mario 1, 2, and 3 and Super Mario World. But that game actually goes for $31.
Okay, so you're working in the numbers. I did the same thing. I like it. This is what makes this interesting. Because let's make this very clear, because a lot of people off the bat are going to think in your head like, well, duh, just pick this, but it'll surprise you how many games you're like, oh wait, never mind, that's like half of the budget. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what I thought. This was a great challenge because probably, maybe not that long ago, maybe 3 years ago, you could have gotten a lot more games. A lot of these games have skyrocketed in price. I just went to Too Many Games convention and seeing these retro games. Some people had like original Super Mario Brothers at their booth for like $20 something. This is like a $3-4 game.
So basically, before you jump in and say, how'd you not pick this or that? Right. Look it up and start making your own list. It's kind of fun to do too. It challenges yourself, but go ahead.
But I figured Super Mario World is a classic platformer, classic music, and so much value you could get in that game because there's so many secret levels that you can continue to play through to unlock Star Road and all that. So definitely bang for your buck. And it's one that everyone probably started with on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I'd say that obviously I know it could take us a long time if we go through each game, and talk about it for a long time. But I think Super Mario World, top 3 platformers of all time ever created, not just back then. So
right.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So I'll go through all my stuff and then we'll do.
Yeah, go for it. Let's do my console after.
Perfect. All right. So going with another classic platformer here. This was a little bit more pricier, but Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. If you've ever listened to the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. Of course, I'm sure you have, but you got to type in on Google or YouTube Donkey Kong Country synthwave. Oh man, it is some of the best synthwave music out there. It's
nice.
just, it's so
just
cool
to put on and chill.
Oh, dude, it is ultra vibes.
Nice. So this one is going for $21.31.
Okay.
On there, so a little bit higher.
Okay.
I didn't check if Donkey Kong Country 2 or 3 were a little bit cheaper, although I didn't play those as much as the first one. That's classic. So I figured I just
any of them are a good choice.
Yeah.
Any of them are a good choice for sure. I like it. All right, Russ. This is getting me excited. When we talk about the numbers, it makes me more excited.
Moving on to a racing game. Which one am I gonna choose? You guys know where I'm thinking.
Mario Kart, F-Zero. I don't know.
So I went with F-Zero.
Okay. Yep.
F-Zero is going for $13.23.
Okay, I like it. Great soundtrack. Great soundtrack.
Yeah, a good soundtrack, fun gameplay and everything. And it's going to be a little bit cheaper than Mario Kart because everyone's going to be going after that one.
Totally.
Then I figured I'd mix it up with a RPG game.
Okay.
And most people are like, oh, this one and this one. But of course, they're expensive. So to keep it cheap, I went with Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is only $15.50, so a little bit.
See, my brain wants to tell me that I would have pulled the trigger on Super Mario RPG and or I don't even know what that goes for. If that's like $80, I don't know if I could have done it.
Well, I did look up. Maybe some people are thinking Zelda: Link to the Past. RPG is adventure, but that's $29.48, so $30 right there.
Really
eating up the budget. I can only imagine. I didn't look up Mario RPG, but that's I'm sure like $50 or so.
Let's see. Super Mario RPG loose on the Super Nintendo. Wow, $92.
So you would get that game and have $8 to get one other game.
And got 3 copies of. Actually, I don't even know what anymore. So, all right, I like this. All right, I like having this little price charting up so I can kind of poke at it.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got, Russ?
I figured a fun platformer, and you can't go wrong with Disney games. So I chose Aladdin.
So good.
$9.17 for that. Under $10.
What a deal. I gotta say too, I'm gonna claim the Super Nintendo version over the Sega Genesis version, which I know isn't that popular of an opinion anymore. I guess
right.
The Genesis one. Yeah.
The Genesis one, you get the sword.
Yeah, which is I don't know. I don't know.
I played the Super Nintendo a lot more, and I had more fun like bouncing off all the the guys' heads and the poles and all that. It's fun
too. It's like parkour.
Yeah. Parkour. Yeah. Moving on, I figured I'd pick a fighter game.
Okay.
And that's kind of torn between a few, so I went with this one because it was a little bit cheaper. Street Fighter 2.
Straight up.
$11.99 for that one.
That's a
classic Street Fighter game.
It also makes a good video in the future. Get great games that are still surprisingly affordable.
Right.
Yeah.
Second on my list, like I was gonna put in there, but we pulled it out, is Killer Instinct.
That's one of my favorite fighting game franchises.
But that one was $14.15.
Okay,
so
you're going full.
A little bit high, so I was like,
you're going full coupons, bro. I love it.
I was gonna can we use like an eBay coupon if we got it in?
What is it? Honey is the website.
Yeah, put in the Honey browser.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Beast.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Beast. I don't even watch that guy, and I've seen that commercial a million times.
So then I want to move on and maybe get like a beat 'em up style game.
Okay.
Lots of awesome ones out there, but again, you start thinking of the classic ones, pricey. This one still pretty cheap. Fatal Fury is $15.
Fatal Fury. Wow, I don't even think I've ever even touched Fatal Fury on Super Nintendo. Is that a beat 'em up or a fighting game?
I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure it was a beat 'em up game.
I think it's a fighting game.
It might just be a fighting game.
I don't think they've ever made it's a fighting game. Because I know Fatal Fury is obviously a fighting game. It's one of my more but I was like, is there an off version that's a beat 'em up? No, bro, you straight up picked yourself another fighting game.
I got 2 fighting games.
Now you have 2 fighting.
Final Fight, Fatal Fury. I'm like, yeah, I think they're both fighting games.
Nope. As soon as you said that, I was like, is there a fighting version? Nope. Sorry, Russ. You got stuck with 2 fighting games.
Because so what was on my list,
nope,
which is a fighting game.
Yeah.
It was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's a great game.
$22.49.
Still a great game though. That's not a bad price for that game.
Right. Absolutely.
I was listening to the soundtrack today. Literally.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Then again, I was literally sat down for 6 hours downloading soundtracks to use for background music.
Jeez. Where do you store it? You just put it in your iTunes or
in my external
drive?
External drive, man. I downloaded probably 700 songs today.
But when you're editing, how do you pull them into the edit?
They're literally just in a little folder that just says music.
Oh, okay. And they're just like blink, blink, blink.
Yep. Drag them in. Yep.
So this brought my total up pretty high, and I was like, I need to spend a little bit more. So I kind of did some searching, and I picked up Super Bases Loaded, 99 cents. Wow.
What? Cost effective. This
brought my total to $99.96.
Hey, Russ, good job, bro. I like
that. Got me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games on the Super Nintendo.
Let me see what mine is. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 also coming up on mine. Wow. Nice. So I was gonna do the NES. Okay, right. I was gonna do it, and I was like, I don't know. I've never collected for the system seriously, but when I started looking at some of the prices of the games I really enjoyed, I was like, these are pretty cheap games. Mm-hmm. Because when you think of this console, the console is the Dreamcast, you think of a lot of expensive games. There's a lot of very expensive. Oh yeah, all those, what is it, Cannon Spike, all this stuff is just a lot of the fighting games are
Marvel versus Capcom. Yeah.
But I was looking at the stuff that I really played on the Dreamcast, and I'm like, these are some of the really cheap games, and they're more based on fun rather than being like the big popular franchises that everybody loved.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I'm going to start from the lowest to the most expensive.
Okay.
So the first one, which in my opinion is one of the most fun games ever, and I'm not even a football guy, NFL 2K1 is $3.
I believe it.
But I anybody you talk to that has played that game is like, oh, dude, that's an amazing video game.
Okay.
Like, almost anybody I talk to that played the Dreamcast is like, oh, dude, NFL 2K1 is up there. So that's one of them. Huge one with me and Ricky, played it all the time together, all the freaking time. Virtua Tennis.
Okay. I never played either of these games that you mentioned.
Well, for the price of $11, you can play both. So that one's $8.
Okay.
Huge, one of the funnest, most exciting games to me on the Dreamcast. It's on other things as well, but Crazy Taxi.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was like, that has to be on his list. Crazy Taxi.
$13.
Great soundtrack, fun.
So Offspring
replayability. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So good. This for me, I can't go a console and not have this. Tony Hawk 2 is $10.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I never played it on Dreamcast. I imagine it's just like
Tony Hawk. Yeah, it's Tony Hawk. This is an interesting one, and maybe kind of somewhat. No, it's not cheating. The Midway Greatest Hits.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. If you got a greatest hits type game with
it's $12. It comes with, what sold me on is it has, arcade versions of Spy Hunter, Rampage, Paperboy, Gauntlet, Moon Patrol. But what really sold me, because I never played this before on any sort of console controller.
Okay.
Have you ever played 720?
Yeah, in the arcade, yeah.
So it always was really hard for me to figure out in the arcade and control, but as a skateboarder, I'm like, I want to play 720 with something in my hands. So that's what sold me on the greatest classics.
Nice.
It's crazy how many sports games are in here for me. NBA Showtime.
Oh, okay.
Is $12. Have you ever played that?
That one, no. Oh, just NBA Jam, basically.
It's just like NBA Jam.
I'm trying to think, if you buy the arcade 1-up machine, I think it comes with that,
Really? Okay, I do not know that. I don't have any.
I'm pretty. David has it at his house, and I think it's NBA Jam and NBA Showtime as well.
I dare to say that I even enjoy Showtime a little bit better.
Yeah.
Maybe I've just played NBA Jam so many times that I've exhausted myself on it. A somewhat of a racing game, you would call. This goes for $22. Russ, have you ever played Hydro Thunder?
I've heard of it. I don't think I ever played it.
Wow,
racing,
Russ.
Right?
So basically, I just wrote you a list, Russ, of games you need to go play. Hydro Thunder is freaking awesome, dude. It's like a boat racer type game, but it doesn't feel slow. It feels like in your face, wild, crazy action. So I love it.
With the name like
Hydro Thunder. I think Metal Jesus really loves this franchise too, as well. And the last one, which is $20 because I needed one in there just like this, Sonic Adventure.
Right.
I needed one that could kind of be less of my goof around. I want an hour to play, but like, hey, I want to like dive in here and try to like really get into the game, beat the game, you know, put the time and effort and energy into it. So
right. And you know, it's a classic for Dreamcast. You get the staple character Sonic the Hedgehog on there.
And the music is always talked about. Oh, and guess what my total came up to on that?
What's your total at?
100.00.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You beat me out.
So I did some real looking
without the coupons.
Yeah. So funny enough, for Riff, I just called you Riff. Wow. Russ, for bonus, did you do another console?
I didn't do another console as bonus. No, I did the games that I wanted in my list, but they were too much money.
Do you have those lit with you now?
Yeah.
Because I have a full another bonus set I did for the Nintendo.
Perfect. I'll go through my list of games that I wish.
So what were your almost made it's?
Well, we mentioned the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes.
I was going to put Mega Man X on there.
Oh, that's oof. How much is it?
$30.
It's a little high, high. But oh my,
super classic.
It's hard because you have to take something else out.
Right. That's a few times I was switching things out. I could take these two games out, put one back in. Of course, we had Link to the Past is $29.48, so another $30. Super Metroid.
Super Nintendo's too hard, bro, because they're all good.
$68.26.
See. Ugh. And that you could put some serious time into because of all the speed runs and all the different
super
types
classic
of getting through the game.
I did have NBA Jam on there.
So
that was only $9.61.
NBA so it's kind of like Showtime. Yeah, that was $12 on the Dreamcast. So both.
And then the last one I had Earthworm Jim. Oh, surprisingly, $33 now for that.
Really? I feel like I see copies of that or when I was looking more for Super Nintendo stuff, I feel like I'd see those all the time.
Right. I mean, and well, again, we're also solely basing these off video game price charting, what they have it listed as.
Totally.
Very possible you could go to a video game store or a convention and they have a flea market and they have it for $20. But for the challenge, it was just what video game price charting has it at.
I feel like I get that. I still see that game for pretty cheap. Maybe I need to pick that up. Do a little flip.
Groovy.
Yeah, groovy. All right, so I made an alternate list for the NES. I actually made the NES one first.
Okay.
And I loved it, but I was like, I need to pick something different. That's why I went with the Dreamcast. I need to try something different and see what I would have picked. And I found myself picking games I wouldn't have expected. Even didn't put Shenmue on there, but hey, oh well. Okay, so with the NES, I'm going to start with Super Spike V-Ball.
Nice.
Love that game. Oh man. And if you haven't dove into that soundtrack in a while, it's the perfect music. I edit for other YouTubers. It's the perfect background music.
Okay.
It has just such a fun, smooth. Also, pro tip: if you're looking for music to go behind your videos, beach themes in every video game always have that like really perfect vibe and perfect like RPM to where it's like, this is like the feel good music.
I'm gonna have to take that tip.
Yeah. It's a real thing, dude.
We already been using Rescue Rangers a bunch.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Me and you both use Rescue Rangers. Yeah, Super Spike V-Ball, bro. Hit that up one. That one's good. Codename Viper is a great one for $10.
Oh, nice. That's still that cheap.
Still that cheap. Super Spike V-Ball is only $5.
Oh, nice.
I've talked about this one before. Again, a lot of these I've talked about, but they're, they're not too pricey. Again, could be a whole other video. Legacy of the Wizard. I know I talked about that to you before, and some other people in the comments were talking about it. Shockingly $5 video game. I don't understand. I really don't get it.
Yeah, there's been quite a hidden gem type videos mentioning that, so I'm surprised the price hasn't at least spiked to $10 or.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those ones that people have talked about, but the mass hasn't gone out there and played it yet. Because I feel like if they would, you're not going to dislike the game. It's a great fun game. This is a really cool one. This was actually one of the most expensive ones, only at $18. But you ever played or heard of Clash at Demon Head?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a platformer, side scroller, RPG. It's got a whole bunch of different elements. Very like Japanese too, with a lot of things in the game and a lot of translation issues, or not translation issues, things you need to read inside of the game. But a really good, solid game. Nice. $18 too. So I'm surprised that never went up too, because I've heard that popped around here and there too in hidden gems list as well.
Yeah.
Ghosts and Goblins, even though it's not my favorite, I feel like if I really wanted to get into playing my collection, we both know that Ghosts and Goblins is going to put you through the ringer. So that's kind of why I picked that one more on the side of like, I don't really love it because it's so hard, but I feel like if I'm like making it part of like my journey through collecting, I'd be like, all right, let me try to get through this thing. So
yeah, if you were just kind of stuck with those games there and you just played it week after week, you eventually you could become Mega Dan.
I don't think I'll ever get there, bro. I've had that wish before. That game's $14, by the way, still pretty cheap.
Nice.
This one I was surprised was $18 too. I know part 2 goes for much more, but DuckTales.
$18 on that one.
$18 on DuckTales, and that is a great game. I know it's been talked about a million times.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, another pro tip. Everybody talks about the moon theme. Bro, you need to listen to the Amazon theme. That thing is fire. So I didn't do a video on video game music because I literally spent, like I said, 6 to 7 hours today listening to
video game music.
And like, oh, perfect. Put it in this like groovy style. Put this in like the category of like a little more somber, so.
Yeah.
Nice. Not a lot of people love this game on the NES, Strider.
Oh yeah.
It's $11. Again, I'm in the mode of music, man.
Great music on that one.
Such good music. It's so like almost like epic. It almost has like an Egyptian, there is an Egyptian theme, but like an Egyptian style type tone to the music. And it just sounds like really like, I guess, more epic than I would expect things to sound coming out of NES.
Yeah, you're like some of the themes, you're like, this could almost be Genesis inspired or whatever, the way it's hard hitting and like gets you pumped up to play.
Absolutely.
And all that. But yeah, you could spend a lot of time in that game because there's so much backtracking where you need special abilities and all that.
I can't remember where NES Complex used it, but I know he used one of the songs as like his main, might have been from Is It Fun? I'm not sure. But one of his series he uses Strider NES music. And the last one is $18, and it's just because it's, if you don't own it, I don't like you. Mario 2.
If you don't own it, I don't like you.
Yeah, so Mario 2, and I know blasphemy for not picking Mario 3, but it's just a personal thing for me.
Mario 2 is great. It's great.
I can't imagine. I literally can't imagine not having Mario 2 in some sort of collection.
Okay.
It's like, what? Here's another question, Russ, to buy as a couple more minutes. What is your like? This game, like it is like not even necessarily saying like your favorite game of all time,
okay,
or like top 3 favorite, but just like, this is a game where if any question is asked about being good or I have to have in a collection, whatever the question may be, it almost is like a default answer because it's so like prominent for you as like, hey, now this is a video game.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably go with Chrono Trigger.
Okay, right on. I don't think I ever knew that about you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my, like, I hold on to it so cherishly because I still have my copy from a kid, like complete in box, everything, and playing that game. I can still vividly remember being in my bedroom and I would rock Collective Soul CD while I was grinding and leveling up my characters. Just having such a great time playing that game, and the music in it was fantastic. I enjoyed the story, and that there was multiple endings, so you can kind of go back and like, oh, I could beat it earlier, I could beat it a little bit later with this character, so you could just get so much value out of the game.
My brother was really big into Chrono Trigger, and to this day I have a pretty big regret. Is we had Chrono Trigger growing up. He held on to the childhood copy like you did, and he gave it to me when in an old Retro Liberty video. He gave it was like in a big duffel bag, and it was in there. And I remember like not realizing that there was like more attachment to it. My brain like didn't register it as like a child attachment, and traded it off for something, even not like for not worth its value or anything, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, man, that kind of sucks. Like that was like his childhood game that he like really loved.
Right.
Dang it. You blew it. What's another one, Russ? I'm curious with you, Russ, because I didn't know that was one for you. What's another one?
Like I mean, I really enjoyed the Chrono Trigger series there. I even Chrono Cross on PlayStation. I got into it with that. Some other classic games. I'm trying to think one on Nintendo.
Oh, not even just saying it's like classic, but to you, it's just like that's the game, you know.
We brought this up before, and I've been using the music a lot lately. Oh, okay. And I remember playing this like with my neighbor a lot, but Kids.
Okay, yeah, no, we've talked about it a couple times, but I've never knew you had like a attachment to it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like that time growing up, and you're playing the video games with your childhood friends or neighbors or whatever. And I don't know who bought the game or how we came across it, but I was like, this game's actually really fun. Like I had a good time playing it, and we joke around like, all right, let's go get some McDonald's, like playing Kids, but it had a good soundtrack, played kind of like Mario 3, so you're like familiar with it.
I think one for me that, and we already talked about it, Super Mario RPG, but so when I was today, this is how like I knew it was just like one of those games. So I've been like really busy lately. I'm talking like very,
I can imagine,
almost like unhealthy busy, to the point the other night I told my wife, like, and I never have this happen, to where like I was like, it was probably 1:30 in the morning, and I never do this. It was a work day. I worked the next morning at 5 a.m. I got up, I could not sleep, and I like turned on to play video games because I'm like, I can't sleep. And I laid back down at like 2:30 and I like started having like a mini panic attack. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have too much going on. And even today, when I took that time, I'm like, okay, like part of what I do, I need to find new music. Like this is what I do. I edit for people as well. Yeah, my daytime job, but I edit for people as well. So I'm like, part of my job is making sure I'm not, just recycling the same music over and over and over.
Right.
Make it good, make it different. And in the 6 hours of just listening to song after song, you almost get so sick of hearing music. But there was one track that came on, and I can't remember which one it was. But there was a track that came on from Super Mario RPG that I kind of forgot about. It was like more towards the end of the original soundtrack. There's like 60 songs, and it was like number 55 or something. And I heard it, and like I didn't even like know that I was doing it, but I heard it, and I literally like went back in this chair and closed my eyes and like had like 3 minutes of like almost like weird childhood like bliss. Like I was just in like put me in like almost like a weird Nirvana trance, not something weird like that, but I was just like, my brain like wouldn't allow me to like work when I heard it. It was like, no, like you're chilling. And I just like kind of fell off my back of my chair, just
taking it in.
Yeah, and it was weird. It was almost like a refresh,
Okay.
And it helped. And I was like, whoa, that was really cool. So that's why I think sometimes you don't even know. And there was that documentary we had that came out a couple weeks ago called Rarity, John Riggs and everybody came out. And that's kind of one of the opening things we talk about is nostalgia. And I know I'm going off here, but like that was where kind of how the documentary started. It was me kind of trying to describe nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you can't force it. You know what I mean? You can't recreate nostalgia in the future. It's one of those things where like when it hits you, you'll know. Right. And that's how I felt about the song. Like I was like, yeah, I love Super Mario RPG. I've always known, but like it's like when certain things hit you, you're just like, whoa, like I feel at peace and I feel like a kid again, you know?
Right. Just brings you back.
Yeah, and it hit me, and I was like, whoa, that is a trip. I don't know if you've ever had that, or can you think of anything off the top of your head where I know you've been doing gaming for so long, sometimes it can seem like it gets stagnant, like not new. But have you had anything in the past few years where you're just like, boom, and you're like, whoa, that felt really good again?
I don't think it's nothing intense like that.
Okay.
You know, seeing certain games, it triggers a little bit of memories and stuff like that. Probably it's more powerful with music since a better connection when you're hearing
some people are like that way. I use the example of church. You know, when I go to church, I know there's people that totally connect with messages, you know, what's being said, you know, and there's people that or get both. But for me, I more connect with like the music.
Okay.
You know, like I'm a music guy. Like music can hit me harder than someone talking, you know, just for me personally. And I know some people might be the same way with visuals when it comes to retro games, you know, just the way it looks or the colors, the movement. But it sounds like you're kind of more like me, where it's like a little more like, whoa, the music can hit you.
Right. Well, that's why I said like anytime. So I listened to that Collective Soul CD and it just they're connected, Chrono Trigger and Collective Soul. So if I hear that, I'll immediately think like, oh, remember grinding in the prehistoric time to level up my character or whatever.
That's so cool.
And I can remember, you know, the TV that I had in my bedroom, the old CRT TV, and like a little like cubby things. I have my Nintendo in there sitting on my bed with my Batman comforter.
Oh, I love it. I love that. But I love that stuff. And it's a few weeks ago, Ricky picked up a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sleeping bag, you know, cool. and it was old, it was vintage, you know, it looked like it was from the early 90s, all beat up, and he picked it up. And I was like, dude, I know it's beat up and it's old, but like that's the cool thing about it. Like I said that in the video. I'm like, there's a little kid in the 90s that probably was in that sleeping bag playing the Super Nintendo, right? You know, probably playing Turtles in Time, you know, like what? And I'm like, it's just crazy that those, like, I don't know. And I was talking about this. I was just at Retro Games Plus, you know, with an ex place you manage, talking to Chris, and we were talking about how nostalgia has evolved so much to where back in the early days of video game collecting on YouTube, it was pretty much just like, you know, everyone was gotten to video games. Everyone that was nostalgic was like video games, you know, right? ABGN, it kind of like rebooted nostalgia, but it was all towards video games. And I've noticed so much in the vintage and the retro community that it's expanded now to movies, VHS, you know, it's expanded to clothing is huge. Me, myself, I'm not even into the Raiders, but this is beat up old 90 something vintage Raiders sweatshirt, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm finding myself, the more people I talk to in the community, they're just expanding their nostalgia brain, and they're getting all these like nostalgia triggers in different areas, and I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's just cool. And like even new like fashion will come out. So for Halloween, me and my wife are doing Casey Jones and April O'Neil.
That's right. That's awesome.
And so most of my stuff is coming in, and Steph was at the store and she's like, I need to find white boots to fit with the outfit. And she's like, thank God, like 80s fashion is like coming back. So I found a bunch that I can choose from. And she's like, I'll take pictures and send them out to you. But I'm going for, I got a bunch of stuff in the mail. I actually have them right here. I want to do like the action figure Casey Jones, essentially.
Oh, that's so cool.
With like
I have that figure too. So yeah,
with like the blue hoodie and like the like lime green backpack and bat and stuff like that.
So how far is the costume along? Pretty good.
Yeah, I got the sweatshirt and the pants. I ordered lime green shoes. And I already have the mask because I did a DIY on the mask.
That's right. Yeah.
And I ordered I got wrap for like your hands or whatever that you put on, like,
yep.
So I'm waiting for the gloves to come in, and then I have to make the backpack. I found a big thick PVC pipe I saw someone use and heat it up and kind of squish it.
Oh wow.
And then you can put your weapons in. So I ordered a Nerf hockey stick and a foam bat, so this way I could bring it to convention so it's safe.
That's dope. That's really cool.
But we're going to be dressing up at Retro World Expo. We're doing Mario and Princess Peach on Saturday, and then Casey Jones and April O'Neil on Sunday. So it should be cool to get some pictures. And I got a wig too, so I gotta have long hair.
Wow, I like it. No, that's cool, dude. That is awesome. I love that you and Steph are willing to do that kind of stuff together.
Yeah,
not a lot of people do that kind of stuff together, so it's really cool.
And I was happy to pull her in last minute. We were talking about, I put her in a short horror film that I made.
It was awesome, by the way. I saw that.
Thank you. We're showing it tomorrow. So it's for a film competition.
Yeah.
And they opened up submissions back in July for this, and I waited till like the week before it was due. I messaged a lady, and she's like, "Oh, you're ambitious," and it was due Friday at midnight. Well, I didn't end up start filming until Thursday at 6 p.m. We went out into the woods and filmed, and then I went back the next day on Friday to get a few pickup shots. Yeah. And I finished editing the video at 11:20 and uploaded it like just in time. So we're going to see that they're going to show all the films tomorrow night and then announce first, second, and third place. Yep. And those will be shown Saturday at the event.
You are so much like me. You're a grinder, dude. Honestly, to be honest, you and I, this isn't even like bragging. Some people might say this is a bad thing, but I feel like you and I, like, we keep going.
Right.
Always, like we just keep going. Like some people are like, "Oh, doesn't this ever discourage you? Or does this maybe not?" Or this, I'm like, I just keep going. Like, that's it. Because it's like you have that drive for work, but it's also like you, I can tell you have so much creativity that it's like, I got to do it. I got to put it out. Like I need to vomit my creativity, whatever it is. Like it's a real thing.
Because I knew we were going. She already bought tickets to the event, and I'm like, we're going. I want to see something that I filmed, and how cool would it be to have you on screen too? And I know your friends are coming, so I'm like, I can just put this together. Just give me a few hours with you, and I'll do the rest.
She did great too, by the way. I mean, we won't. I know people will, or maybe they'll see it. I don't know, but are you putting it on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have it.
Okay.
We'll see how ambitious I am, but I'm trying to do a Halloween special, which will be about maybe an hour long with a bunch of different segments in it. Cool. And then I'm going to release it as its own thing as well. Good. So probably next week. So it's still Halloween time. So you could watch something spooky.
I love it. Keep it crushing, Russ. Keep crushing it, Russ. I know we went a little long and I rambled and took us in different directions, but I told my wife before I came in here, she's like, "Oh, so how long are you going to be?" I'm like, I need to just chill and talk.
Chill and talk.
Yeah, I just need to chill and talk. She's very supportive of me grinding. So
getting the grind on. Yeah. And I said I was like, my girl was off. She got out of work today, and I'm like, I'm going to be live streaming for like 5 hours, and then we're recording a podcast. So I will be back past midnight. But we both have tomorrow off together, and we're actually going to a corn maze, and it's going to be a fun day. So I'm excited.
Oh, cool. I love it. I love the spooky season, man. It's cool. Well, Russ, it was good chatting today. I like that, bro. That was
absolutely.
I didn't bring anything to cheers.
You didn't know cup?
I got a big thing of wipes.
That works, I guess. Well, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. We got plenty more on the channel. I have a full playlist of Riff and Russ episodes to keep you busy. And as always, keep your world fun bit by bit. We'll see you next video.